What if I told you that one of the most important fertility tests you can take isn't actually a fertility test? In fact, it's a test that most couples have never even heard of, and yet it gives us some of the best information about how your body is handling stress, adapting, recovering, and preparing for pregnancy. It's called Heart Rate Variability, or HRV. And if you're thinking about getting pregnant, trying to get pregnant, or you've been struggling along that journey, this is something I think you should know about. Before we jump in though, if you know another couple who is preparing for pregnancy, actively trying to conceive, or navigating fertility challenges, send this video to them. I honestly think that more people need to hear this perspective, and it will help. One of the conversations I seem to have over and over and over again with couples goes something like this. We've already tried everything, we've read everything, we've tested everything. Nothing's working. And to be fair, they've done a lot. They've cleaned up their diet, started supplements, tracked cycles, listened to podcasts, read books, and spent countless hours researching online trying to find the missing piece. Some have worked with multiple providers and sought second opinions because they simply want answers and they want to know that they are doing everything they can to prepare their bodies for pregnancy. And I completely understand that. It's great. That's perfect. But what always fascinates me is that after all those conversations, many couples have never once had anyone evaluate how the nervous system is functioning. That's a much bigger deal than most people realize, because the nervous system is helping coordinate many of the exact systems we're trying to optimize before pregnancy. It influences how we adapt to stress, how hormones are regulated, how well we sleep, how efficiently we digest our food, how our immune system functions, and ultimately, how well the body is able to support reproductive health. So if the nervous system is involved in so many of these processes, doesn't it make sense that we should understand how it's functioning? Especially if a couple is struggling, especially if they're looking for a different perspective. The easiest way to think about the nervous system is that it has two primary modes. You got your gas pedal, you got your brake pedal, your fight or flight system, and your rest, digest, and heal system. Both are important. The goal is not to eliminate stress. The goal is adaptability. A healthy nervous system should be able to respond when life gets stressful, and then return to recovery mode once the challenge is passed. The problem is that many people today never fully make that shift. Between work, family responsibilities, financial pressures, poor sleep, health concerns, and the constant stream of information coming at us every single day, many people end up living with their foot stuck on that gas pedal. And for couples who are trying to get pregnant, the fertility journey itself can become another major stressor. Month after month, they're wondering if they're doing enough, they're missing something, or if there's something else they should be trying. And that's where heart rate variability comes in, or HRV. Despite what most people assume, we don't actually want our heartbeats to occur at perfectly equal intervals. A healthy nervous system creates subtle variations between heartbeats. These variations tell us something important about how adaptable and resilient the nervous system really is. Think of HRV as a window into how well your body is handling the stressors of life. A higher HRV generally suggests that the nervous system is more adaptable and flexible. A lower HRV often suggests that the nervous system is under greater stress and having a harder time adapting effectively. Or said another way, HRV helps us understand how prepared your nervous system is to respond to life and recover from it. One of the ways I explain this to patients is that your nervous system is constantly asking one question: am I safe? If your nervous system feels safe, the body can devote more resources to healing, recovery, growth, and reproduction. If your nervous system feels like it's constantly running from a bear, it's going to prioritize survival. That's not a conscious decision, that's just neurology. This is exactly why I think HRV is such an important conversation in the preconception world, because we're finally measuring something that sits upstream from many of the systems couples are already focused on. We're not just looking at symptoms, we're looking at the systems helping coordinate everything else. At Milestone Family Chiropractic, every couple starts with a neurological evaluation that it includes heart rate variability testing. The reason is simple. We don't want to guess. We want objective information. We want to understand whether the nervous system appears adaptable and regulated, or whether it looks overwhelmed and stuck in survival mode. We also want to establish a baseline so that we can track changes over time. One of my favorite moments in practice is when someone sees their HRV results for the first time, because often they're expecting the conversation to be entirely about fertility. Instead, we're talking about how the nervous system adapts to stress, what their vagus nerve is doing, whether their body is spending more time in survival mode or recovery mode. That's usually when the light bulb turns on. They start realizing that maybe the question isn't simply, what's wrong with me? Maybe the better question is, how well is my nervous system functioning? And HRV is only one piece of that puzzle. We also perform 2 additional neurological tests called neurothermal and neurosensory EMG scans. Together, these 3 tests make up our neurological insight scans. Each scan gives us a different perspective on nervous system function. HRV helps us understand adaptability and autonomic nervous system balance. Thermal scan helps us to evaluate how the autonomic nervous system is regulating itself, while the EMG scan helps us identify patterns of stress and tension that may be affecting communication between brain and body. When we put all 3 together, we get a much more complete picture of what's actually happening. Now we're not guessing. Now we're measuring, we're tracking, we're creating a roadmap. That's important because one of my favorite things about neurologically focused chiropractic care is that we're not chasing symptoms. We're focused on improving nervous system function. Every neurotonal adjustment we provide is designed to improve communication between the body and the brain. Our goal is to reduce neurological stress, support healthy vagus nerve function, improve parasympathetic activity, and help the nervous system shift away from chronic stress mode. Over time, we often see improvements not only in scan results, but also in how people sleep, how they handle stress, how much energy they have, how well their bodies are adapting to everyday life. Now, every fertility journey is unique. There are many factors involved, and no single test can tell us everything. But if we're not measuring the system that helps coordinate all the others, we're missing a very important piece of the fertility puzzle. Preparing for a child should be one of the most exciting seasons of life, but I also know it can feel frustrating, emotional, and overwhelming. If that's where you find yourself today, I want you to know that you are not alone, and you have more options than you may realize. The earlier you begin supporting and optimizing nervous system function, the better prepared your body will be for everything that comes next, whether that's conception, pregnancy, birth, or the challenges and joys that follow afterwards. If you'd like to learn more, we'd love to help. In Milestone Family Chiropractic, we start with a consultation and a complete set of neurological insight scans, including HRV. When we sit down together, we'll walk through the results, answer your questions, and create a customized plan designed specifically for you and your goals. Because preparing for a pregnancy isn't just about hormones, timing, or supplements. It's about creating the healthiest and most adaptable nervous system possible for both partners. And that's exactly where we start. We'd love to get you scanned and help you better understand how your nervous system is adapting to the stressors of life.